Welcome back people to another episode of GadgetSnap. Now, pretty much everything in tech right now is about Samsung's cringy Unpacked event, but since I really can't be asked to cover all of that again, I thought I'd talk about some of the other stories that went unnoticed last week. My favourite leaker on the scene, Kamiya, however you say his name, is back with more Apple info, this time regarding Apple Glass. So he now confirms that we should expect to see Apple Glass during Apple's March event. I do want to note though, this does not mean that Apple Glass will be ready to buy in March, much like a lot of Apple's big announcements. They'll announce it and then release it much later. Right now, I think Apple Glass should be ready around late 2021 to early 2022, so there's definitely a bit of waiting to do. But either way, I can't wait. As somebody who wears glasses full time, I can't wait to essentially have something like Edith from the Spider-Man movies on my face, just there. That's awesome. Okay, this is pretty recent news, but yes, Google has now killed the Pixel 4 and 4 XL, so if you were for some reason planning to buy them, you just can't. And this is a really odd thing to do for a company because A, this phone doesn't have a successor as of yet. The Pixel 5 should be announced in October and that is quite a while away. Also, this phone has not even been out for a whole year. They've prematurely killed it off 9 months into release. That's just not a good look. Honestly, this seems like Google saying, hey, we know you don't like our phones, we make terrible phones, so we're just gonna stop selling them. Are you happy? And you know what? I actually am, because unlike the Pixel 3a that was killed off earlier this year, the Pixel 4 is a terrible phone. I mean, it was overpriced, the battery life was terrible, the 90Hz refresh rate barely worked, and then on top of that, the Project Soli hand waving thing was just pointless. And you might think I'm being a little critical, but this phone was a genuine flop. Like, it did absolutely horrible in terms of sales too, so I can see why Google wants to get rid of it. But thankfully, the future of the Pixel is looking a little brighter because the Pixel 5 is obviously going to be much cheaper apparently and will be more of a mid-range product than a flagship, and that's definitely the way Pixels should go from now on because I feel like they're just not fit to be amongst the flagships. We have some information on the upcoming OnePlus 8T and what CPU it could possibly use, and it's not looking too good because apparently this phone will only come with a Snapdragon 865. What? Now yes, I know the 865 is still very much a flagship chip, but knowing OnePlus, the company that's all about speed, wouldn't they jump on the 865 Plus? I mean, that's been out for a while now, and they've always done this with their T variants. They've always upgraded the chip whenever they can because they want the fastest phone in the world. There are only two possibilities with this leak. Number one, it might seem that the OnePlus 8 might just get the regular 865 and then the Pro gets the 865 Plus because companies just love upselling people. But number two, the more obvious route, this is just straight up false info, and much like Max Weinbach suggests, this could just be a slightly modded version of the OnePlus 8. In terms of other changes we could expect with the OnePlus 8T and 8T Pro, we don't really know much yet, and I can understand why because I myself do not know what OnePlus can add to these phones, and I can probably see them scrambling for ideas right now. The OnePlus 8 Pro is probably one of the best Android smartphones on the planet right now, so there's not much they can add or change. And even if they wanted to, there's not really any new hardware for them to really add to this phone apart from the 865 Plus I mentioned before. The displays are good, the build is good, the cameras are good, and in general everything is good, okay? The OnePlus 8 Pro is as good as it can be right now, and I don't think OnePlus needs a T variant on top of that. And also, smartphones are just becoming more and more iterative year over year, so it seems a little extreme to refresh your phone every 6 months. And on that note, I'll end it here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya, peeps. Word at the end thingy is boom. Put it in the comments, people. Thank you.